welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me again today outdoors in this beautiful place as we continue to explore Luke chapter 15 and how it reveals the heart of God to us. Today we're going to look at the elder brother and the kinds of things that he said and the attitudes that he held. And of course we see right off he refuses to go into the party. When his father comes out to plead with him, he treats his father in a disrespectful manner by saying, "I've slaved for you," implying that his father is a taskmaster rather than a loving father. And, of course, then he criticizes his brother. He says, "This son of yours who has wasted his money with prostitutes," he judges him, and he begins to grumble and complain about his brother and his father. And he holds these attitudes of bitterness and judgmentalism and condemnation here. I want to submit to us today that the reality is when we believe that God, our relationship with God is based on performance, a performance-based relationship, I really believe with all my heart that there is no other possibility than resentment and condemnation and judgmentalism and comparing ourselves with others. Let me explain a little bit about that if you can. If we believe our relationship with the Father is performance-based, then the reality is we can never be sure we've done enough. It's that burden, Jesus said it to the Pharisees, you lay a burden on people's shoulders that they can't bear and that you yourselves don't bear up under as well. We can never be the best. There will always be someone who outperforms us. And that leads to all of these feelings that stir up within us, doesn't it? I mean, there's always somebody that prays more than us. There's always somebody that gives more than us, or believes more deeply than us, or knows more, memorized more scriptures than us. There's always somebody who outperforms us. And so we're always in a hierarchy. We're always ranking ourselves to see who we're better than. Are we better than most? Are we better than average? And it all begins to focus on us. You see this elder brother, he says, "I've served you, I've obeyed you," and he's comparing himself to the brother's performance. We have to justify our missing the mark because we all know we've missed the mark. We all know that no matter how hard we try to perform well, we still fall short in so many areas in our lives. And so therefore there's this constant feeling of self-condemnation, this constant feeling of I've missed the mark. And so then we look at others, and our relationship not only with the Father is tainted by that, but our relationship with one another is tainted by that as well. Because we're looking at each other to compare ourselves. Well, I have a better attitude about this than so-and-so. Well, I do more of that than so-and-so. Well, at least I don't do those awful things that so-and-so does. And so and our relationships always become a hierarchy, always become a comparing. We always are passing judgment there. And then we also resent it when people who are less qualified than us receive blessings, don't we? It's just hard. I mean, it's hard to admit that, but it's true. When somebody else who doesn't go to church as much as me or keep the laws and rules as much as I do or pray as much or give as much or whatever, and they receive these amazing blessings from God, and it causes, just like this elder brother, he's saying, this younger son has not done near as much as I have, and yet look how richly you've blessed him with the robe, the ring, the sandals, the feast, welcoming him into and throwing an honors banquet for him. And the older brother just resents that. And I'm just saying it's really, really tough when we believe our relationship with God is a performance-based one. It's tough not to resent the Father for blessing those who are less qualified. I don't know. I hope we can be honest about that today in our hearts and realize that is a sign that we are living in a performance-based relationship. We have accepted and adopted that means of connecting to and relating to our Father. And tragically, like the older brother, we find ourselves feeling just like that. We find ourselves, and we need to ask ourselves, am I really being religious? Has the idea of religious, performance-based relationship with God, have I adopted that? Have I accepted that as the way it is? Because if I'm feeling those kinds of feelings, then it's very possible that that is true for us. And what Jesus is trying to tell us in this parable is, stop it. Let go of that. Repent. Change how you think about God. Your relationship to Him, my relationship to Him, is not based on my performance. He does not grade my brothers and sisters, and He doesn't put us all like a school where some get A's and some get D's and some fail the course. He doesn't. It isn't based on performance. It's based on, and here's the good news, there is an alternative to this, and it's called grace. It's called grace. Just simply accepting that the Father loves us as is, where is, and that His heart is to bless us, and that it isn't about our performance at all, not even in the least slightest bit is it about our performance. Well, this is something to think about today. Maybe not such good news if we really find ourselves, if we recognize ourselves as this older brother in a performance-based relationship with Father. But the good news is we can let go of that today. Right this moment, we can let go of that, repent of it, change how we think about it, and embrace a Father of grace and walk in relationships where we don't have to compare ourselves to each other, and we don't have to be constantly doing a self-examination about our performance and feeling shame and guilt and underachievement. Well, that is good news for us today. Let's think about it. We'll talk again tomorrow.